Hi, it's Ashley from AB Sound Advice. Today we're doing a product review on the Magnat Quantum 753 bookshelf speaker two-way bass reflex. And wow, I know this model's been around for a while, but I haven't had time. There's been so many products that I've had banking up that people wanted me to do reviews and spotlights on, and finally I've got to these, and wow, what a bookshelf. It really is sensational, and I think in this part of the world they're around about the 2K mark, and wow, they're worth every single cent. So let's just first off go through, like always, just the specifications. A two-way bass reflex setup, 25mm tweeter and a 170mm woofer mid-range. Power handling RMS 120, max is 180. Sensitivity is at 91 dB. Again, very efficient. Impedance will very comfortably operate between 4 and 8 ohms. Frequency response between 30 and 5000 Hz, and definitely I could hear the 30 side of it. It was definitely provides a really nice low note. Crossover frequency 2800 Hz. Recommended amplifier output 20 watts would be about the minimum you'd be wanting, and specifications we are dealing with 190 wide by 362 high by 335 deep, and that's all in millimeters. Weighs in at 9.2 kg, and definitely a fantastic speaker. So if you haven't heard of Magnat, German brand, been around for a very long time, I think from just over 50 years. So this product range is just fantastic. All the Magnat products, I've been very impressed. Amplifiers, they make high fidelity products, high audiophile. It's a really nice range of products, and you would see over the time through AB Sound Advice, I've done quite a few of the Magnat products in their range. And today, the Quantum 753s, been really looking forward. I mean, one thing I love about the Magnat speaker range, they not only provide you the detail, but they're also got that solidness that you'd get from a floor stander. And as the world's changing and people are moving into apartments and they're trying to minimize space, bookshelves have come a long way. You can really get a lot of sound out of a bookshelf. And if you'd said to me in the 80s, one day a pair of bookshelves would be my main speakers, I would have laughed at you. I would have thought, no way. And even today, and I've still got my some old floor standers back from the 80s, and I've got beside it a pair of bookshelves, and it's a real competition between the floor stander versus the bookshelf in my lounge environment. So bookshelves have definitely come a long way. So if you'd like to still maintain that sound and that fullness that you'd expect from a floor stander, you certainly can get very close to doing that in a good quality bookshelf, and like we've got in front of us, the Quantum 753. So let's just have a quick look. As you can see here, you've got the tweeter, the woofer, really nice presented. You can see again, one thing I love about Germans, they do put a lot of work into the actual, the actual craftsmanship of the actual speaker and the way they present it. And we'll come around the back, and you'll see there it's a rear firing port. We also can bi-amp, and you can see again, very nice quality build. And again, in this particular one, I've got the grill off. I do have the other one on the floor here with the grill on. So certainly very, very nice pair of speakers. I like the white cone. It's just got a bit of class to it, and the grills, you'll see here, they're just little pins, so very nice. They're nice and easy to click on and off as required. So if you're looking for a pair of bookshelves, you're certainly not going to be disappointed with the Magnat Quantum 753s. Now let's just quickly go through this. You would have heard in the spotlight I use yellow quite regularly in most of my sound spotlights. Reason being, I've been using the yellow stuff in demonstration purposes since the early 80s, and here we are 40 years later, and I'm still using yellow as my reference point, whether it be headphones, speakers, all sorts of things. And you would have heard, well, it's very hard, but you could take my word for it. If, again, as I've said before, I don't rate things. We've got stereo, hi-fi, and audiophile. This is definitely an audiophile speaker. I don't rate things 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, but would I own a set of these? Absolutely. So as you can see, I've got a fairly significant range of products that I would own, but I think it gives you a good perspective, because if I'm prepared to go out and buy it myself, I consider myself a very, I've always been a sound guy. everything to me is about what I can hear. I've used to always throw the owner's manuals away, specifications, really didn't care, because a lot of that didn't mean anything to me. What meant something to me is how the speaker sounded. So these here, very musical. I mean, it's got a nice sense of detail, the voices, the bass. It's a very well balanced speaker. And if you're looking to just sit back and enjoy and play any selection of music at home, or whether it be, and again, you can use these at one each side of your TV and use it as, and even complement it with a subwoofer, so you can do a 2.1 system. And a lot of people these days are going back to 2.1 versus the 5.1 because there's space restrictions. If you've got a home cinema, well, of course you go a whole different route. But for this perspective, musically, really enjoyable. The detail, the voices, the bass is nice and tight and solid. It's a very natural sound, and I think the replication of the music is very, very good. I mean, you certainly wouldn't be disappointed if you had a pair of these Magnat Quantum 753s in your lounge room or bedroom, dining room, wherever you end up having these, and whether they be up on a shelf, on a stand, or wherever you place them, they seem to be, it didn't matter where I put them, they sounded incredible. So, no, take my hat off, 10 out of 10 to the guys at Magnat. A really fantastic sounding bookshelf speaker. So, if you're in the market for a bookshelf speaker and you're looking for something that's, and you've got a couple of K to spare, this would be an investment. There's no argument. And I've had a few people ask me, how can you call it an investment because speakers devalue? Well, that's not true. An investment in my mind is when you buy something that you enjoy and it sounds like everything you've wanted. And in my mind, that's an investment because I don't like spending money on things that are not an investment. So I guess it makes sense to me that if I'm prepared to put my hand in my pocket, I feel that they're providing me the sound quality, the build quality that I'm looking for. And I guess for as you'll notice in all my reviews, I'll let you know whether I'd buy them or not. And if I am a little uncomfortable or I'm uncertain, I'll say, hey, I'm uncertain. I'll always give you my professional opinion of whether I would own a pair, and that will give you a guide. And if you look at the vast range of products that I've reviewed, and there's been over 700, I think, videos now on the AP Sound Advice, and I've got 40 years of playing in sound, this is not a disappointing speaker. It's as good as any speaker that's out there, and if not better. And when I say that it's enjoyable, it means that it's providing what I would consider, the detail. I like to get as close to the naturalness of it being studio quality, studio sound, live sound, and that's the way it should be. You don't want to be listening to a speaker that's all of a sudden changing things so much that all of a sudden it really doesn't sound like it would sound in a studio, or it doesn't represent what it would sound if you were at a concert. Now, of course, you also have to factor in room size, all the other things, all the other parameters that are involved. But in a general sense, this is a fantastic speaker. It's a room filler, and don't get me wrong, you certainly wouldn't be using a pair of these to have a Saturday night party for 40 people. But it's got enough power to have a definitely a fun night out at home, and if not, it also will do the delicate sounding stuff as well. So it's a very well ranged speaker, and as I said, very well presented, great sounding. And if you're looking for you'll notice it's quite a sizable bookshelf. So as I've said, if you're looking to try and get a bookshelf that sounds more like a floor stander, this is the right starting point to start playing. It provides that real solidness that you'd get from a floor stander. So I think you certainly wouldn't be disappointed. If you'd like to find out more information about the Quantum 753s, you can go onto hifihq.co.nz for New Zealand or hifihq.com.au for Australia. Other than that, you could also just search Magnat Audio and you can look at the German site. So again, thank you for tuning in to AB Sound Advice. I do appreciate everyone's support and supporting the channel. And I guess in reality, the channel was only ever set up to sort of provide a more personal approach of being in the industry for over 40 years and providing what I found. And I've got clients and customers and people within New Zealand and Australia have been buying off me for over 40 years. And I have a reputation of not sending people up the garden path. So If you're looking for a natural and an honest approach, then again, continue watching what I'm doing. And other than that, I certainly appreciate all the kind comments that people post on there, thanking me for what I'm doing, and I do appreciate that. I certainly I do it because I love what I do, and that's the most important thing. It's all about the music. So again, thank you for tuning into AB Sound Advice, and we will see you next time.